Nothing.
I do that all the time. Take off your sweater, you're making me hot.
No, I'm cold.
Your coals.
I'm always cold. I smashed my finger.
Hold on, let me fix this.
What happened? I found the list.
Utopia. What
of
list?
Walker.
Oh, you did?
Diseases. I'm gonna print it up right now.
Okay, good. So, chronic,
But their list is long. I'm just looking at it right now. It's like 2 pages.
so how do they get that? Do they have to call them?
I'm pretty sure it's the same process as United.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Medicare Space Live Show. My name is Victoria Cabrera. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. And today is, what's today, Friday?
Yes, it's
Yes.
last Sunday or Monday.
Friday.
Wait, are you on? No, you're not on.
She turned me off.
There you go.
She
You're-
canceled me.
This week went by really fast.
Oh, I turned you off now. Test.
She
Go.
I said this week went by really fast.
It did, right?
Yeah.
I'm all turning it upside down.
How are you guys doing this morning? Thank you so much for joining the Medicare Space Live Show every day, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Every Friday.
What did I say?
Every day.
Every day.
We could do it every day.
No, they do not want to hear us every single
Or
day.
do they?
No. Good morning, San Antonio. Thank you so much. And who do we have here to the right of us? Miss Bedazzle, Miss Fancy Schmancy. Who do we
Good
have?
morning, San Antonio. Sylvia Toscano here.
Good morning. And what? Ooh, look at these. Are these pearls?
They're her
Yes,
pearls.
they're
People
pearls. I
clutch
wish
your-
they were.
Clutch your pearls.
I wish they were real, but
you mean you didn't go down to the ocean and collect thousands?
she
of
would.
This.
She would and she could buy real pearls, but here's the
I
problem:
know.
she'd lose them.
Yes, she would
Yes,
use them
I
like
would
myself.
lose-
That's why she doesn't buy.
I
the pearl
know.
ones.
And my earrings. I had pearls. My brother brought me years ago a nice pair of pearl earrings, and I lost one. Then I lost the other one. So after that she said, "I'm never gonna buy you anything expensive.
No more pearls for you.
No more
pearls for
anything.
you.
Just cosmetic jewelry, which is fine. I'm okay.
Costume jewelry.
Costume jewelry.
And who do we have next to Miss Sylvia Toscano here?
Hey Rod, sassy, classy, a little badassy.
Oh, I like it. Sassy, classy, a little classy. I hope everybody's doing really well this morning. Thank you so much. I feel extra energetic. I don't know why. I think it's because I can finally breathe, because these sinuses were killing us, right?
Yes.
Were y'all dying of?
All this week we're using each other's medicine, taking.
You don't get sinus problems, do you?
I was funny because I was thinking about it yesterday as I was driving home. Like, you know what? Not gonna moderate, but like, of all the almost 2 years that I worked here, I've always come into work. Like, I had never been like, oh, Victoria, I don't feel good.
Well, that's why I got sick.
I don't like, I'm old. I don't know. I just try my best to like keep that out of my head. So like the slightest tickle in my throat or like anything, I'm like, oh no, we don't have time. For
Do you
this.
take honey?
No, I just tell myself I don't have time for it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
that.
I tell my kids the same thing. I'm like, oh no, let's get you something so we're not,
Something.
blow your nose.
Good morning, Zachary Espericueta.
I love
Good
his
morning,
name.
good morning.
Espericueta.
It's
No.
like that.
How do you say it?
Espericueta.
You mastered it. It's
It's, no, I could never have that last name.
Say it again.
Espericueta.
Say it fast, right?
Espericueta, Espericueta, Espericueta,
I did it.
Wow.
Zach is like, no.
Put a give a little what's it called? What is that? Like a little no, God, what am I trying to say?
I don't know. You tell us.
Like a contest, and we
Oh
always
yeah,
have.
we're very competitive, but it's friendly
That's
competition.
Yes.
friendly competition.
Always.
Friendly fire.
Well, I hope everyone's doing well this morning. Thank you so much for joining in. As always, y'all said it better than any substitute growing up.
Oh, that's
Good morning,
the word.
Priscilla.
Yeah.
Good morning, Priscilla.
Good
Oh. Oh, and guess who is not going to be on because she is taking her test.
Oh,
What time?
Mama
9 o'clock?
Josie?
Mama Josie's taking her licensing test, but I set it up purposely for her to practice. I hope the Texas Department of Insurance is not listening. But not to practice, but as a first try.
You never know. She might pass it.
She might.
You never know.
She
You
does.
know? Because sometimes when you over study, and then you take the test, it's like, oh my God,
I'll
you
never-
know.
I'll never forget when Victoria was like, okay, I was so excited. I interviewed with her. She's like, yeah, we'd love to bring you on, but you have to pass the test. And I was like, oh. So then I studied my butt off for 2 weeks. I literally ignored my children. I would get home, I'd bring them food, and my kids were like not having it. I'd sat in my living room, and I'll never forget the day before I was to take the test. Lorenzo was off from work, and he helped me study. And we stayed up till like 12 o'clock at night. I couldn't go to sleep. I was so anxious. And I got up that day, I went to work, and then I had the test scheduled for after work. I left work, changed my shirt, ended up at the wrong testing facility.
Oh my God.
They sent me the wrong, the one right here on San Pedro.
Okay.
And the girl was like, she's like, oh no, you're at the wrong location. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, it's okay, don't panic. She's like, you'll make it. So I drove, I hauled butt to the next location, made it, and I sat there, took the test, and they give you the test results right away, right? And so then by the girl's face, I thought, oh, that's it, I failed. She looked at me and she's like, okay, go to the front, they'll give you your score. And I was like, I have to walk down this long hallway, and I was like,
yes.
The man gives you the paper, and I look at it, and I was like, did I pass? And he's like, well, let me see it. And he's like, yeah, you passed. It looks like you passed me. And I was like, oh my God.
They should say something like, congratulations, or you suck. Something.
Here's the thing.
Well, you know, they give you this paper like a subpoena. You know? And you're like, I don't want it.
Have you ever been subpoenaed?
No, but I'm because
We've seen other people get subpoenaed.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Law and Order.
Me too.
I know.
We know the process.
Yeah, they give you
We're
this
experts.
paper like, you know, you're afraid to take it, and you're like, oh my God, I passed.
I literally ran out of there because they make you take everything off. I didn't know this. Like, I couldn't have anything, watches, bracelets, they
Is
check
that
your
why I was
glasses. You have to take everything off. And so then I get on the phone, I call Lorenzo, and I'm crying, and he's like, what's wrong? I was like, I passed. And he's like, oh my God, good job. And he asked me on speaker so the girls can hear me. Then I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna call Victoria. So I call Victoria, and I'm crying, and she's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, I passed. She's like, all right, good job. And now next step.
Yeah, now that you're kind of hired,
Yeah.
let's make sure you don't get fired.
Yeah. Don't party too hard. Yeah.
That's what I did. I called my daughter, and I was crying. I cry for anything anyway. And then I called Carlos Gandenadias. Carlos, I was all excited.
Candelario.
Candeladio.
Yeah.
You're getting stuck with a lot of last names, interesting
I
last names today.
know.
They're long. So that's where you get stuck.
So we'll see after the show if Mama Josie is a newly licensed
Yes,
agent. for
I
the
have a
state of
good
Texas.
feeling.
Yeah, me too.
What time was her test?
9 o'clock.
Oh. So she should be halfway through,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like 3 hours, right?
2.5 hours, right?
Okay. So yeah, should be about halfway through.
Yeah. So we'll be getting called out lunchtime.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Celebrate celebratory lunch. We're gonna go celebrate.
We're
We're
gonna
not here, but we're gonna
celebrate.
celebrate.
We're gonna have a drink, a cheer for you.
Either way, we're gonna celebrate.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's where she's at right now. So hopefully everybody.
You've never told us the story about when you took your test. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. So I was working at West Telemarketing. You know, the one job that everybody gets when
They
they
used
first
to
come to San
advertise it
Antonio.
on the radio all the time.
I was a telemarketer. I was and then I was like, I was looking at my cubicle that was like 2 inches long like this because the cubicles are not big. And I was thinking, I really need to get something better than this. And so I looked at that time it was the ads or whatever in the paper. And there was this thing was like, I won't say the name, but it's like this big green giant name, right? Like green, big insurance company name. And it says, you can make up to this amount per hour. I'm like, oh my God, that's like double the amount I'm making, right? Because back then they paid you like $6 an hour or whatever.
Peanuts.
Eating peanuts and popcorn. So it's like, I'm doing it, right? But when they're trying to hire you, they don't tell you, right? That you got to pass the test. So I showed up, they're like, yes, we're going to be hiring. And they even put you through training. So they're actually hire you.
Uh-huh.
They bring you on, they pay you, But then you're like, okay, now you got to go take the test. And I'm like, what test? And they're like, you got to pass a test to keep your job. And I'm like,
Oh crap.
you mean I left my other job to get this job? And they did the same thing to me at another job that I won't say. But anyway, long story short, went, passed the test, and that was it. It was nothing miraculous. I was like, shoot. I have to pass the test because if I don't have a job. And at the time I had a roommate, like I had, rent to pay and stuff. And so that's how I passed. But I passed the first try, thank God. And then later on, I took my PNC license and I also passed that one too. But yeah, no cute story or anything like that, like you guys.
Well, that's a pretty cute story, I would say,
Yeah.
because you told me in my interview process, like, hey, you're gonna have to take a test. So we ordered. It was during the snowstorm. I'll never forget because I did a Zoom meeting for my house, and I was super nervous. And you said, hey, and as soon as you try to email me the stuff, and the Wi-Fi was all down, and I will never forget that Friday. I started studying already Friday. And then I came into the office, and I remember Raph at the time would come in very often at the time, and he's in Miami now, and you would tell him like, hey, do you have any advice to offer her, like about taking a test? And he'd always be like, oh, you're gonna do great, don't worry about it, you're gonna be fine. And he gave me some really great advice on taking the test, and I took it and I ran with it, and it really helped me. He's like, yeah, this is how you should study, and this is what you should do. And so I think it was literally the need and the want to really want to leave my job, just like you, where you were like, oh my God, I need something better. For me, it was the same thing. So that's what drove me to really, really like study. I didn't want, I had never wanted anything so bad in my life that I was like, I'm so determined. So I think that is your story. Like you're like, that's what got you to pass the damn test the first time.
I couldn't get fired. That's what, helped me. So, never mind. Yeah, so let's hear any stories from you guys. Did y'all have any interesting stories about maybe a professional certification you had to get? Maybe you know what was really hard? The Series 6, Series 6 and 63. To me, that was pretty hard.
And what is that for?
It's to be able to sell certain financial products like
Annuities?
No, not annuities. Kind of like bonds and things like. Well, there's certain things because then you still need your 7, but there were certain things like you can do with a 6 and 63. I don't have that license anymore, so.
How were you telling me about the CPA the other day? I was like,
how
many tests?
I think it's like 3 or 4 tests.
My wife is a genius,
and they're like 3 hours long or 6 hours long each. I don't know. She was telling me something crazy. I was like, oh my God. Like that's
a smarty.
Yeah,
you got yourself a smart one.
She's a smarty pants for sure. She's a keeper. Yeah, she is.
Well, you could always say she's smart. She married me.
Yeah. She's gonna be like, no, I'm starting to question myself.
I don't know if I'm that smart.
She's like, I don't think I'm smart anymore that I'm married Victoria. But yeah, it was that seems like a really hard test. I wouldn't be able to do that. But how are you guys doing this morning? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope if you're listening later, good morning. Oh my God, is that Kelly Gonzalez?
Hi, Kelly.
Kelly Gonzalez showed up to the show.
She's our realtor.
She is our realtor.
She's our gal. She got my house. We got our house on the market. She told me it wouldn't last very long. We sold, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Nice.
We sold our house. We closed on the same day. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
We closed on our house. We sold it, and we bought and closed on our house the same day.
Dude, Kelly.
I was like,
she's a rocker.
Mm-hmm. She went through it with us too, because the first one that we were gonna do. So I was those people
you were that difficult.
We were texting her at 10:30 at night, like Kelly, but whatever, Kelly. Like I wouldn't recommend to do that, but
she's so gracious.
There was other issues with the first house.
The first house, it was all
had a lot of.
And then Kelly, no. She goes in there, no. I was like, yes, no.
That's what she said.
And then I remember like yelling at one of the ladies, like the seller, and I don't yell. Y'all know it takes me a lot. And I remember like being out there and I was like, crap, was that bad? Like, I should not have done that, But no, and then it was like a blessing I was like, you know what, Kelly, I'm so sorry to do this. No, you guys weren't. You guys were awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We might be in the market soon, Kelly. I'm just joking. No, we do need to buy some investment property, so we're going to be getting with you. But no, what I was saying was, so we gave up on that house. We're like, and we had already sold my house, so she helped us sell our house. That one sold like in a day.
Yeah.
And then we were living with my friend in an apartment for a little bit, and we had our dog at the time. And anyway, well, I was like, babe, we're just gonna have to get an apartment. We're just gonna have to get an apartment, and I don't want to rush into anything crazy. Well, then we like looked and we saw a house that wasn't available when we first saw it. So I told Kelly, hey, we want to go look at this house, tomorrow or whatever. And when we walked up, I was like, oh my God, so cute. And then guess what I don't want to say my address, but it's angel numbers. And it was just a good vibe, and it was a good feeling. And like Kelly was like, yes, yes, yes. And it was the easiest transaction after that. And then she's like, this is the way it should have been. It should not have been like that. I said, yeah.
Very good experience.
So if you guys are in the market for a house,
Kelly Gonzalez.
Kelly Gonzalez. And if you need a place to stay while you're buying a house, she has an Airbnb too, right?
Yeah, she the same thing with my sister. She helped her buy her house too. So she's our family realtor. I don't have anybody else I would trust to go to the process. Do that for sure. Yeah, ours is fairly easy. Yeah. It's funny because I like it when people tell me that you can't do something. So when I was like, oh yeah, we're going to definitely close on both houses the same day, it happened. My sister told me, there's no way you're going to be able to move in one day. I'm like, we'll see. Guess what? I packed that U-Haul truck. I packed everything. I was like, that's it. I ain't coming back. I ain't making another trip.
One and that's it.
One and done. Let's go. So yeah, no, that was fun though. That's always fun.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a house, call Kelly. She will help you see things that you don't see. Like and she's a little, sorry to say, Kelly, I don't know if you're still like this, but she's a little OCD like this one. So if she sees a speck in the wall, no. Okay, fix that, get that. No, that needs to get fixed. So she'll see things that you don't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which is great. That's great to have
somebody like that.
Yeah. Because I was like, because sometimes people are like, I don't need a realtor. I'm just going to find the houses. But I'm like, yeah, but there's processes that you don't understand in the background.
That's what they're there for, to help you guide through the process.
Yeah. But just call Kel.
I couldn't imagine doing it.
I just made a jingle for you. Just call Kel.
That's what our commercial's going to say.
And then it's going to go like this.
I can hear that.
And if you're selling your house and you need somebody to take your pictures, we know somebody for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And then Rick. Okay,
That's
so I got to
right.
give it up to Rick.
Yeah.
Because Kelly put me in
Exactly.
contact with Rick.
Yeah.
And then Rick took pictures. And then literally the next day the house sold.
Yeah, that's what really helps
Yeah.
to sell. Bad pictures, oh my God, that's the worst. Like,
Mhm.
look. So you gotta really imagine and picture, like, you know what I'm saying, yourself in the house. And so I'll never forget when we walked into our house, I told Lorenzo too, he was like, this is it, babe. I think this is it. So that's how we knew that it was, because we looked at a bunch of houses.
Yeah. It's a lot out there now. And for those of you making financial decisions, always go with your gut, in a sense that if you feel like it's not the right decision, like a lot, right? Because some people just don't know, they can't make decisions. But if you feel like it's not the right decision, you may want to
Okay, this is a nice segue into seeking a lot of options and choices.
Oh.
Peas right around.
Annual enrollment's around the
That's it.
corner.
A lot of options.
A lot of options. People trying to make decisions with their insurance,
Mhm.
and it's very confusing out there. But I can't say much. Not till 10/1. But the 2023 is looking really bright.
It's looking,
Yeah.
I feel, this is my second one, I feel like every year they just get better.
Yeah,
And it's
they
almost
do.
like a good thing because it forces them to be like, oh, we're going to be better than this company. We're going to be better than this company. And so I like it for my clients because it really, really forces the companies to step up.
Yeah, because I can look at even 10 years ago, what I was selling to now, I mean, it's gone a lot better. It's grown, it's richer, you know, for the clients. It has, and it's a competition.
It's really competitive.
Very competitive.
Well, I like the way like the changes that every single year I always see changes specifically to, well, Medicare supplement is Medicare supplement, right? But Medicare Advantage plans, they're getting a little bit more creative when they're offering things like on their extra benefits. So it's more of a holistic approach to their healthcare, not just like doctor visits and hospital.
Yeah.
So people look at a health plan and they're like, doctor and hospital, right? Surgeries and this, lab work and this. However, with Medicare Advantage plans, they're making it more like of a holistic approach, which I really, really do like, where a part of your health is everything from your teeth to your eyes. Because if you can't see, you know, or you can't, I mean, if people have bad dental hygiene, that affects your other health too.
Yeah, you get heart disease and things like that.
You get headaches.
Headaches too?
Yeah, you get headaches.
Yeah, because I know if I clench my teeth, like, and I'm grinding my teeth, then like, you know, I might have to get one of those things.
You mean a teeth guard? You grind your teeth at night?
I like clench my teeth at night. I feel like I'm having dreams and I'm eating like elotes or something like or jawbreakers.
You mean elotes?
What did I say?
Elotes.
What does she mean?
Well, that's in Spanish. Well, actually, no, elotes.
Oh, corn. Elotes.
Yeah.
I said elotes.
She's eating elotes.
Yeah, she's eating elotes.
No wonder my mouth hurts. Elotes.
You know, somebody should open so in Mexico, that's really big, right? Somebody should do that here. Can you imagine how much money they
They do. They have it
But they're
downtown.
quartering a cob. No, I'm talking about the real deal, like on the husk with everything.
They have them in certain
do.
HEBs.
I haven't seen them. Not in my HEB.
Because you live in the north side. You know?
I live in the ghetto. They
Yeah,
have it right.
you live in the ghetto.
That's the one thing I miss about the south side is the food. Like the Mexican food is not there on the north side. I'm sorry,
Oh, yeah,
but
you're
it's not
right.
there.
Yeah.
It's not there. It's
Where we live, we got like,
I know, you're like at the mecca of like all of the good food.
yeah, we can never make food decisions and it always
You-
causes like,
And they're like they're nice food establishments with like chefs and crap. Like it's legit.
And everything is walking distance or just
I know.
like 5-10 minutes away from where you
We
live.
got excited. They're gonna make a bar and grill down the street from our house. And I said, "Ooh, babe, we can walk."
You're not gonna walk. Yeah, I know you are.
I was just telling somebody about San Antonio. If you're not from Texas, you got to come visit. But San Antonio, what I love about San Antonio is that it's so big, but every part of town, it feels like a small city. So like you have the north side, the east side, the west side, the northeast side, the northwest. Anyway, you get my point. And then you have downtown. I love living downtown because it's just the little hub and it's central. But you have like your HEB, your Walmart, your Walgreens, your CVS. I mean, it's all your little things that you don't really have to drive to the other sides of town, right? That's why I love San Antonio. Because like you can make a home wherever you are.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
people think, oh, San Antonio is so big or a big city is so big. But honestly, like when I lived on the northwest side of town, I never left the northwest side of town.
Yeah.
I would always go to that HEB, go to that Walmart, go to these restaurants. Yeah, and you're right. Some of the restaurants suck.
Yeah.
But downtown, they have a lot of great places. It's just that some of them you have to, reservations and everything like that. So,
And Restaurant Week is coming up.
ooh, Restaurant Week here in San Antonio.
For y'all that like to go out and
The
eat
foodies.
fine. Yes.
The foodies. I know Kelly's a foodie.
And they added a lot of new restaurants this year from last year.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
If you
Probably looked like more than, they put a third more
a third more of
what was last year.
Oh,
So, yeah,
okay.
a lot of new ones. I guess because a lot of them are opening up, so.
What I like about Restaurant Week is that you can go into I would challenge you guys to try something new. Like a lot of people don't want to try a new place because they're like, how's the atmosphere? Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm getting here. And every time, like the other day I was in Corpus and I was like, I just need coffee. I need a coffee and a normal coffee. Well, Starbucks is like way on the other side of town. I said, you guys just don't have coffee like around here? So I put it in the GPS, and my mom's like, no, there's no coffee shops. Well, it happened to be one right down the street. And it was super cute. It was a really cute coffee place. And my mom's like, wow, I never knew this was here. So it's just kind of like popping into places, like even if you feel like.
Small businesses need your love.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then go to a new restaurant and try something different. I know people that go to a new restaurant and they eat the same thing.
Oh, that's me.
All the time. They don't explore. They don't eat different appetizers.
I know what I like and I know what I want to eat. I don't want to try.
No, but you have to try it because you don't know.
I did try a different shake at smoothie tea this morning.
Oh.
So there we go. That was my one contribution to
change.
The change. Okay. That's good.
So yeah, so me and Sylvia are like, what is that? Let's get that.
Whatever it is. I'm gonna make this weekend. Tigre ceviche de tigre, tiger ceviche. So it's not really tiger milk. That's what we thought when we were in Cancun and we ordered tiger ceviche. We're like, milk from a tiger? How do they do that? They milk him a little bit, but it's the way it's prepared. So we're gonna attempt.
You're gonna attempt to make it. You're gonna take pictures and videos so we can see the process.
Well, I'm gonna be the taster.
She's gonna sit back and watch her wife and Sylvia make it.
Yes.
I always ask, can I think anything I can help with?
No.
Oh, no.
You know what I do help with?
She messes up on purpose so people don't ask for help.
No, whoa, you caught on.
I know that. You want to know why? Because Lorenzo, every time he would sleep, I knew he would do it half-assed. But guess what? Every time it's okay, you continue doing it because eventually you'll get better.
Like kids do that.
You.
Kids do that. They mess it up on purpose.
So Carmenza, keep asking Victoria, she'll eventually get better.
Yeah. Now, as long as she brings us our cocktails.
That's what I do well.
She's a bartender.
I make a good old fashioned and a mojito.
Fashion. I haven't had one in a long time.
Ooh, an old fashioned's good. I'm gonna even step it up a notch because I'm gonna buy me one of those what do you call those? Flame things.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm gonna like burn the serrano ham the way they do it.
And you're gonna do like flipping cups
and
in
then I'm
air.
gonna do the smoker.
I'll go to Restaurant Depot and see they have one.
Yes.
You know what I want to try this winter because I'm ready for winter. Is a hottie toddies.
What are the hottie toddies?
Anything with liquor and hot. Anything.
I knew she was gonna know what they were. I knew she knew.
A hottie toddy could mean anything, mostly with bourbon or whiskey, which is pretty much kind of the same. And then you could either put Kahlua, warm it up. That's what I have a friend who always used to say. Let's have a hottie toddy.
I want a hottie toddy.
Jose Cuer says picky eaters eat the same thing all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a picky eater? Yeah.
No.
Like Lorenzo will order something new every time we go to Papados. I will literally order the same thing. And he'll try it. He's like, I don't like it, but he'll finish it.
He'll try it. Yeah.
But Desiree drives me nuts because Desiree will eat something new and then she's like, I don't like it. And she just throws it away or she's leaving it. I'm like, Desiree, that's a waste of food.
Which would be the natural thing to do if you don't like something.
I know.
What are you supposed to do with
That's
it?
why I always eat the same thing, so I don't have to throw it away.
But I will say Carmenza does. She will probably eat it if she didn't still like it.
Lorenzo's the same way too.
Yeah. I mean, she will not be happy.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, that wasn't that good. I'm like, really? Because you ate the whole thing. There was one thing that I couldn't like. I liked it. Okay, so there's two things, right? So you didn't like.
Okay, so there was this sausage called morcilla. It's a Colombian sausage. My wife is from Colombia. It's a sausage. It's a. They call it morcilla, right? And I was like, ooh. And it's a sausage. It almost looks like what's the Louisiana
a boudin,
whatever that is, right? It looked like that. Well, so I'd always eat it, right? And then she finally told me, she was explaining what it was to like my mom, and she's like, yeah, they soak it in blood and they do this, and I'm like,
it's a blood chorizo.
Oh, so wait, it has blood, like real blood, like, and like she's like, yeah, like it's soaked in blood. And I'm like. I can't eat it anymore just because I knew it had blood in it. And then my sister makes this really, really good like soup. And they add this like, it looks like gelatin, like little maroon little squares.
I think I've seen that.
Well, it turns out it's blood too.
Yeah, it's like congealed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't do it. And it's not bad. It's not, I mean, it's good. It's not bad.
So
like
the first time I tried alligator sausage, we were in New Orleans and my mom didn't tell me what it was. And so she was like, here, try it. I'm like, no, Mom, I don't want it. She's like, try it. Tried it. She's like, it's alligator sausage. I was like, it's so good. She's like, here, go buy yourself one. She didn't want to share with me.
I don't think there's a lot that I won't try. I'll try whatever. It just all depends how it's cooked. I mean, you might eat the same thing, but if they prepare it.
If you get it,
Not
I'll
as
try
well,
it, but
you
I'm
know?
not gonna order something new. Like if you got
No, I
something
always
different, I'll be
try
like, oh, can I try it? And Lorenzo's always like, yeah, I can try it.
Not
Sherry.
gonna like it.
He's
So
Sherry.
Carmenza, I will say I do love that me and Carmenza are foodies because, and I do like she's skinny
She's
and
busy.
she's a foodie. I love that. Like she actually can eat like good meals. So when we go out to restaurants, we're like, ooh, that looks good and that looks good. So we end up getting each the thing. But then like if one of us doesn't like it, I'm like, well, you ordered that. I
You
ordered
ordered that.
you ordered
I
that
didn't
one.
want that. You eat it.
Yeah, my foodie partner is Valerie, and so that's what we did. We go somewhere, we eat, we order 2 different
Ooh.
dishes, and then we share.
We
I'm
should
more of a cocktail kind of girl. Like, let me try a different kind of cocktail.
see
Hot toddy.
a hot toddy.
I think I'm more adventurous on that side because I'm like, it's alcohol. How bad could it be?
That's true.
And then when you're on your 6th one, you're like, oh my God, this is so good. And then you order it the first time, you're like, whoa,
Like
Like
Jaeger
gross.
bombs back in the
Oh,
day. Jaeger bombs. used to
That's
be
what I
really
can't
good.
do. I can't do Jägermeister.
And
At
that
all.
was a big deal. It was Jägermeister with Red Bull.
Jaeger bombs.
Oh.
Yes, Jaeger bombs. So one time we were at a party and we were drinking it, and a friend of Lorenzo's, we were doing it, and I outdrank him in it. But I will say, it tastes like cough medicine. It's horrible.
Oh,
I can't
like
believe I
that.
ever drank it. It's pretty nasty. But that I would be adventurous with food. I'm just more like cautious because I hate to be wasteful. I don't
Yeah.
like to be wasteful with food.
What's the drink with Guinness that you throw it in the Guinness?
Car bombs.
I love those.
Car bombs.
Yeah, those are good.
I love those.
I was told that it's rude to say Irish car bombs, so I don't no longer say Irish car
It's not
bombs.
politically correct.
It's car bombs. It's like saying, can I get a Mexican tequila?
Can I get a Mexican drink?
What
is that?
Let's not go there. I'll get you. I'll get
Okay,
you
so-
razzled.
Before we go, because can you believe it? We only got 20 minutes left. So I want to discuss something that Sylvia ran into the other day regarding a client to talk about our insurance stuff. You ran into something yesterday or the day before with a client that was on a health plan, and they ended up having to make co-pays that they were not aware of. Can you explain that?
Right. So
And don't say the insurance company
no.
name, by the way.
a client called me because they were having issues. They started getting all these bills, the wife and the husband. So I went by there yesterday and I started, first show me your insurance. And they each had like 3 or 4 different insurance. So I had to, first of all, figure out, okay, this is no good, this is no good, this is that 3, 4 altogether. So we found the insurance that they had. She
Mhm.
said somebody had gone to their house just in March and
Mhm.
moved them. She had moved her from this plan to the other plan. Well, with the same company. So what they did is they moved her to another plan that gave her a little bit, like you said, the vision and the dental and things like that. But she was in the hospital for a whole week. And that plan, the copay is half the amount more. So now she's getting all these bills from the hospital. And she's trying to figure out why was my MRI more and the hospital and all these other bills that she's getting. It was because they moved her. So her husband, this is a big thing. And I know none of you agents out there that are listening do this, but other agents do. They put them on these dual plans, which we call Medi plans.
Uh-huh.
And there's levels of Medicaid. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, I believe. And so each level pays a certain amount. So they put this poor man who's on dialysis on this Medi plan,
Mm-hmm.
but he was level 3, which means all they're going to pay is for the Medicare savings program.
Which is
That's
part B.
it, which is a Part B. So he was in the hospital on the 27th. So he got a bill for $1,460. He's having, because it only pays
Mm-hmm.
for the Medicare savings, his MRIs
Well-
and everything else
Because it only pays for the Part B.
for the
premium.
Part B,
The Medicare Savings Program is what you're referring to.
right?
Just clear that up.
He's getting all these copays. So we
Mhm.
called the insurance first of all because I wanted to see what level he had. And the paperwork that he got from the Medicare, from Texas Human Resources has SLMB.
Mhm.
On some plans, you can enroll them on the dual plans on the SLMB. On this particular insurance that they wrote him on,
Mhm.
the level affects it. So this agent puts him on this plan, promising him all these free, you're not gonna pay for anything.
Mhm.
And in reality, every time he's stepping into an office, they're charging him that 20%.
Because of his level of Medicaid.
Because of his level of Medicaid. And so now it was insane, the amount of bills he got. He's on dialysis, and on dialysis, you do pay the 20%. He's been, and this has nothing to do with the insurance or anything, but do you know that if you're on dialysis, your bill for a month, if you're going once or twice a week, his bill was $251,000 and $456. Isn't that insane
Mhm.
for 1 month of dialysis? And he has to pay the 20%, but
Mhm.
that number is insane, you know?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
more thing I want to say is yesterday at the senior center, one of my clients came up to me and he showed me his bill because I help him dispute bills.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so he had gone to the emergency and he signed in and he's waiting. He said his throat was hurting really bad. He was kind of choking. He just felt something was wrong with his throat. So he's waiting 20, 30 minutes, goes up to the desk and tells him how much longer. And the guy tells him, have a Coke. Yeah, right. Have a Coke here, drink the soda. So he drinks the Coke and he starts feeling better. Maybe it was just acid reflux or something.
Oh, that's not the
And
punchline.
That's not the punchline. So he goes home, right? Now he gets a bill for $65. He's like, but I never saw a doctor. So I call the hospital because I do this. I call the hospital. They said, oh, no. If anybody ever comes in and signs up, we charge them for just registering in. I go, even if you didn't take his vitals, you didn't take him to the back. All you did was take his name and his phone number, and you're charging him $65. They said, yes, that is our policy. So I told him, okay, I'm gonna call Eyewitness wants to know. And I will.
Is that the policy?
Yes, that is the policy.
Right?
I'm like, no.
I said,
that's
did they charge
insane.
him $65 for the soda? That must have been a really
Dang,
deal.
that's a good headline. The
Yes.
$65 for a can of Coke on the news.
That would be a good
know.
headline.
I was gonna say something, but no. But I was like, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, you mean you're charging him just for him going up to you and giving his name and his address and his phone number, you're charging him. Yes, we charge them for just walking in. Even if they leave, they're still going to get charged.
That's crazy because it probably costs them more money to print up that paper and send it to them. Hell no.
Well, he never got a paper. He never got anything. They just took his name and number. That's it.
No, I mean, like, how did he know he got the bill? He was sent a bill, right?
Yeah, he was sent the bill
Yeah,
for
he-
65. And then she tells me he might get a bill for a doctor. I'm like, what? He didn't see anybody. Well, it does happen. I'm like, you hospital, they just take advantage of people. They really do.
Oh my
I
God.
would be very careful the next time you go
Yes.
to the emergency room.
You know, I went to the emergency room with my head concussion and I was there for hours. And then I got my bill and it said that they were charging me like $300-400 for a room. And I called them and I said, I didn't have a room. I was in the hallway, but they were getting the room ready, maybe. I'm like, I don't know if they were getting the room, but I'm not gonna pay $3,000-4,000 for a room when I was not in the room. Y'all never put me in the room.
What's
didn't
the
have a
hall?
bed.
What's the hall fee? Because I was in the hall.
That's exactly
Oh my
what I said. I was in the hall. And she tells me, which this is ridiculous what I told her back. She goes, well, maybe they were getting it ready for you. I go, they could have been getting ready to give me a car.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a car. So no, I didn't get a room. I'm not going to pay for a room.
Wow.
And so I've been fighting with the hospital.
No,
this
you're gonna have to go
particular
back to the hospital for stress because you're fighting the hospital.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you should go back and be like, the room I'm paying for, I'd like it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would have paid it.
Yeah.
But everybody needs, if you go to the hospital or anywhere, you need to look at the bills they're sending you because it's insane. It's insane the bills I'm getting. Twice that I've been in the hospital for, I don't know, whatever I had.
You know, that is a big issue because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Right? There's like you think, okay, well, it's crazy. It's an unknown number. There's unknown numbers. Like,
Yeah.
well, I think so, and then you don't even ask questions because you're like, well, yeah, I mean, I was there.
It goes back to what we talked at the very beginning about, we were talking about Kelly and trusting somebody. It's the same thing with your agent. So like having the right person by your side. I mean, we may not be able to fight every single thing for you, but really knowing whether it's a true emergency, because a lot of times you could just go to urgent care,
Right.
right? So like really knowing where your urgent care clinics around you,
Mhm.
right? Once you're enrolled in a plan, and whether it's considered a true emergency, because a lot of times you could just go to an urgent care clinic
Mhm.
and they can do the same services.
Yes.
So really knowing your plan, really knowing your options, and really getting with your agent ahead of time,
Mhm.
so that when those things do happen, you're prepared. You know where to go.
Yes.
Well, and then too, like, you do really, if it's not an emergency and you go to emergency, like emergency is kind of life-threatening situation,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So if it's not an emergency and you're going to the emergency room just because I don't know, whatever, and you can go to urgent care center, you are taking up those seats for somebody that really does have an
Really needs
emergency.
it, yes.
But yeah, they're not, man, I even took a friend of mine that, he had a stroke and they're like, well, there's not much we can do. I'm like, what? Like, hello? Like, and so finally they got him in after like an hour we were waiting.
Oh my
And then it's like, if this is an issue, he could, it's crazy. It's
It
crazy.
is. Valerie's, one of my dear friends, her mom got sick. She's having heart problems. So she took her to the doctor. They were at the doctor 3 hours yesterday, like 10 to 3 hours later. They went to go eat. And she's been at the emergency since yesterday afternoon. I just called her. She's still at the emergency and in the ER,
Mhm.
not even in a room, in the ER. So there's so many people in the ER. It's crazy. And like you said, yes, and that's what I always tell my clients, if you need to go to the emergency or you feel that it's after in the afternoon or the weekend, go to the minor emergency. This is where you can go, these urgent clinics by your house that you can see, or if it's during the day, call your doctor and ask them.
Mhm.
A lot of clinics are open late and a lot of clinics now are open on Saturday.
And
because-
you could see them telehealth too. So there's
Yeah.
some things that they can take care of telehealth, and sometimes actually is at no cost. So it's
Mhm.
actually better for you to do that. So
Yes.
I would definitely agree with you. Like holding up those resources for people who have true emergencies, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Because those are things that you could probably address with, if you feel a certain way. Again, emergencies are for emergencies.
Emergency.
And I like telehealth because y'all, when I was getting sick, I just called the doctor. She's like,
Yeah,
okay,
me too.
go to the pharmacy, pick up your medicine. I'm like, oh, okay.
And it's amazing, when I was in the hospital, I was there in the waiting room for hours waiting. So many people that came in before or after me and that waited for hours, after like 5-6 hours, they just got up and left. So it's like, it really wasn't an emergency, They went in there, they took their vitals and they told them to wait, and then they just get frustrated and they just leave,
Yeah.
And so it's,
But that's the thing, like mapping out, like you said, mapping out those urgent care centers that they might not be like aware of that they're around. So, shoot, even for me, I'm like, oh. The cool thing is a lot of these CVS and Walgreens are now opening up clinics. Those little mini clinics.
And a lot of these major insurance companies now are accepting that.
Mhm.
So like for us, we have an urgent care clinic that we go to who accepts our insurance. There was a couple of times, one time Maddie had butted Lorenzo and literally busted open his eye,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, okay, let's go to the urgent care clinic.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what
went
we
and they
do.
sutured him up, and he was fine.
Yeah.
So I think just kind of knowing if you live somewhere,
Mhm.
knowing, hey, even if you're just passing, so like being proactive. So
Mhm.
same thing with life insurance, the same thing with health insurance, right? So like instead of getting it when you need it, you need to get it ahead of time. You need to plan out.
Mhm.
You're passing up an urgent care clinic in your neighborhood, pass by and get down and say, hey, do you all take this insurance? What type of insurances do you all take? Until what time are you open?
Yeah.
And knowing that, so being proactive in all of those things
Yeah.
really does help.
And agents need to tell them that, because that's what I tell my clients. If you I know you have emergency in your plan, but you've got the urgent need of care, so utilize that. Because remember, if you go in an emergency, you're going to be there for hours. You're going to be exposed to all these illnesses and bacteria there.
I think
So-
it would be good to get a doctor, if we can get a doctor on here, maybe if that's possible,
Mhm.
to really go over what's a true emergency versus
Right.
what's an urgent care need.
Yeah.
But I guess at that
Because
time
we're
when
not
you're sick-
doctors, right? We can't really be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's not an emergency.
Yeah, I know. One time I feel really bad because I was talking about this recently. One of my nephews, and with kids, sometimes if it's late or they're hungry or they want to go home, they cry way too much, and they could have a little fall in there, like, So I'm that aunt that's like, get up and dust yourself
Suck
off.
it up.
Suck it
You're
up, Buttercup.
fine.
Right. Well, one of my nephews, Pobrecito, I guess he fell and he was crying like, "Ah," and I'm like, and me and my brother, right, we're like the tough ones. And I was like, what's wrong? What happened? And it's like, well, where does it hurt? My arm, right? And I'm like, well, is it broken? And he's like, oh,
I know, right?
right?
People always ask that.
And then I was like, all right, well, we'll take you to the hospital. But they're gonna be sticking shots in you and sticking all this thing in
You're
you.
all me, Victoria.
So, because I want to make sure that they're not bull crapping me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
that's
makes
true.
sense.
And then my brother Sebastian's like, yeah, they're gonna get the big needles and like, and then, oh god, this is bad. And then he kept crying, and my sister's like, you know what? I think we just gotta take him. Well, it turns out he comes back and he broke his clavicle.
Oh my God, Victoria. How long was he in pain before you took him in?
Well, my sister got there. She's like, what happened? What happened? And then I was like, and then me and my brother were like, damn.
You're never gonna
Don't
make me
feel
say
bad.
my will.
Don't feel bad. My mom's probably gonna get mad because when I was younger, I had just had a Brooke and I had really bad stomach pains. And Brooke was little, and my mom's like, we don't want to leave Brooke, right? That was what she was telling me at the time. So I had wake up with these really, really sharp pains, and she's like, it's just gas. Just walk around the house. It's just gas. And I'm like, no, it's not gas. It hurts. It hurts. Turns out, long story short, I think after like the second night where I'm waking up in excruciating pain, I had gallstones. And so we're in the hospital, and they walk in and they tell her like she has gallstones, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, you thought it was gas. But we're all guilty of that because I will say that I've done that to my kids. When I'm like, are you? No, you're not, Dick. You're just trying to get out of going to school. Like, so we're all guilty of it, whether you have kids or not.
If my daughter's on there, she's gonna tell you she used to read the medical book, and so she had all these diseases all the time. She always said her spleen hurt, and it's so funny because 30 years later she did have her spleen removed.
Oh wow!
But she was always coming out with these crazy things, and one day she woke up. She said her side hurt and it was hurting. I'm like, no, you're lying. Go to school. Got her dressed, took her to school. Then they called my mom. So my mom went and picked her up. And my mom already knew her. So they took her to make bills. They took her to Bud Jones in the South Side to eat. And my daughter's there lying on the ground on the chair. And finally at like 8:00, we took her to the hospital. It was her appendix.
Oh my god!
Up to this day, she still throws it in my face. I almost died because you didn't believe me. It could have busted because she read up on it, so she knew all the side effects, about having your appendix burst. And she still tells me that.
Let's see. Eric says at Christy PRN on Instagram has some amazing tips on ways to get around these ridiculous I'm gonna say you meant hospital bills. It says hotel bills, but I'm gonna say. I mean,
if you can tell us about hotel bills, that would help too.
But I think he meant hospital bills. At Christy PRN on Instagram, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
See, so don't feel bad. You're not the only one. Like these happens all the time. Like I think you really try to downplay it. And I understand now my mom, right? Because you don't want to think that your child is in like this horrible decision. And I think after a while, you're like, okay, maybe I.
And they lie so much. Stephanie was always making excuses.
So it's like, don't cry you off.
Exactly. Andrea, he said hospital, and then Andrea's like, poor Gavin. We were all there. We were all there.
So it wasn't just you. Y'all were all guilty of it.
Yeah. No, well, I think it was me and my brother Sebastian that we were the one. I could, unless it was me and Andrea, I'm pretty sure it was me and Sebastian that were like, come on, like, and then poor kid.
Fall.
I mean, I'm sure I don't know, their kids at trampoline, whatever. I don't know how.
Alyssa got a hairline fracture on her leg when she was 2 years old. She had to get a cast. And that one, I will say, Lorenzo knew right away. She used to fall all the time, and she would get up. She never cried. So she tripped in the living room, and she was like, like kind of right. And then Lorenzo had to go to work, and I was laying in bed with her, and she wouldn't stop, kind of complaining about it. And he's like, that's not good. Something's wrong. We took her to the urgent care clinic, and sure enough, she had a hairline fracture on her leg. So she had a cast.
Oh my God.
Poor
It's because, we grew up in a Mexican household.
We did. It's fine. Just put,
walk it off.
Just put Vicks on it.
Shoot. If we cried, my dad would be like, we would not cry to not get spanked. We're like,
I just broke
you
away.
Want to cry for something? That was my mom saying. You want to cry for. What was she saying?
She's like, don't cry. No, don't cry. If you're gonna cry, I'll give you a reason to cry.
Yes.
I tell my kids that too.
Okay, but then my hardball too with my nieces and nephews, because like Priscilla said, he fell off the bed, not a trampoline. So maybe that's why I was like,
you were trying to sneak out of the bed, and now
I'm like, how hurt can you have gotten falling off the bed? It's like,
how high is this
literally that tall, So maybe that's why we were like, he was what's the papalero?
Papalero.
Yeah,
that's how you say
papalero.
Papalero.
Baker. Yeah. But I think we always do that with our kids.
Yeah.
Not that we don't believe them.
Yeah. Says just heads up, the mics don't seem to be transmitting to Facebook. It sounds like another mic is on or not your individual mics. Interesting.
Huh.
What they say?
Can you hear me now?
You can't hear me?
Now you got me wondering.
Interesting.
The whole time.
What happened?
Oh my God. Guys, y'all didn't say nothing.
Why didn't anybody say anything? Maybe they don't like us talking. Maybe they just like to look at us.
You could just hear us.
And here we are now.
And thank you for watching our show. We'll see you next Friday.
Good, because I said a lot of bad stuff about people. No, I'm just kidding.
well, thank you, Eric.
Why didn't anybody say anything?
So could nobody hear what we were saying?
I don't think most people
listen to us.
Care.
So then could they not hear what me and Sylvia were saying?
No, he said we could hear, but it's picking up that mic.
Oh.
So it's not sounding
okay. Well, I talk loud, so I mean I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, they all talk loud.
Gotcha. Well, now it should be working. Everything good now? Test.
Thank you, Eric.
Test.
You're the real
test.
MVP.
1 2 1 2. That was my bad.
Deal.
It's been a crazy few weeks, but that was my bad for sure. Yeah. So what were we saying?
You were talking about how poor Gavin fell off the bed.
Poor
that was
Gavin. And that's just one of the nephews and nieces. Like I remember one time. Oh my God! And I will leave y'all with this story, okay? And Priscilla, don't get mad at me.
Does she know about it or is something new?
She probably knows about it. So, because my sisters they allow me to spank the kids. They don't care. They're like, yeah, spank them. I'm like, whatever. They're not like, don't hit my kids. Those are my
overprotective parents.
They're like, he didn't do anything. Like they're like, yeah, put them. Like they
That's good.
They
That's
allow
good.
me to discipline as if they were my own kids.
That's good.
because
I'm
they
not.
know
A lot
their
of people
kids and they're
don't
not
do
in
that.
denial about them. That's
Yes,
why.
yeah.
Because a lot of parents, oh no, my kids would never do that. No, they're brats.
Yeah. So long story short, I'm gonna try to make it brief because I know you guys want to get to your weekend, laugh my ass off. You have never what? You have never even done that. Wait, what? Never even done what?
Spank them.
Okay, well, well, Priscilla.
Not in front of you, Priscilla.
Well,
Here we
this
go.
might make or break her really. No, I'm just joking. So this was a long time ago when so you got to tell kids like 5 times, right? And I don't like to repeat myself. So I told my nephew, I was like, Jonah, you need to clean your room and you need to listen to your mom when she tells you to clean your room. And so we can spank Mila within reason, okay? Within reason. So anyway, I said, you need to clean this room. And if you don't, I'm going to spank you with this brush, right? And they have those the brushes that the girls use
The
that are
square
square
one?
ones.
Yes.
Okay.
Those hurt.
So I said, okay, I'm going to sweep all the toys and I need you to pick up all the toys and put them up. Right. So then I leave and I come back like 10, 15 minutes later. I was like, are you serious? They're still there. All right. So then I was like, all right, you got one more opportunity. If not, I'm going to spank you with the brush. Right. And then he's like, okay, I go back and it's still not done. I said, okay, you know what? Put out your hand. Right.
He's gonna need his hand. He could have spanked his butt.
Poor
I said, put out your hand. And I didn't mean to, because I was just gonna go like that, right? Like not hard, but like that thing had like, I don't know.
Probably
it was
made like a sound. It probably didn't. What didn't hurt as bad, but it was a sound that it made.
I feel like it was hard because then his hand was red. And then I was like,
like how she said that.
Okay.
It was right.
and he's like, when kids go like, they're trying to hold it, but they can't because it hurts. They're like, I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Let me
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let me pick up the toys for you.
Yeah.
Jonah, okay. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Like, okay, let's just clean up the toys. Is like, I don't know if I said don't tell your mom.
I bet you did.
I'm pretty sure I was like, don't tell your mom, okay? He's probably like, till this day, I ain't telling mom nothing. Oh, Priscilla says, count your days, Mila.
He's probably doesn't like brushes, and Priscilla's probably wondering why he runs from the brush all the time.
Why his hair's a mess all
He
the
sees a
time.
brush, he's like, oh no, the brush.
PTSD of
Yeah.
unbrush.
Well, God knew well, I don't know. I would probably do. I mean, I don't, of course, Mila's a dog. She can't talk. Kids can talk and they could tell you, like, they listen.
She does not want you to hit
She is
Mila.
making so many excuses for Mila right now. She's like, don't you come for my baby.
Oh,
Don't you
no.
dare come for my baby.
but you, come on, guys. Come on.
Not the dog.
No, but you know what? That's your baby. I totally get it.
Mhm.
So I don't care who doesn't want to admit to this, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
The babies always don't ever get spanked. They don't ever get disciplined. Lorenzo, like literally, Maddie just has to bat her eyeballs at him. And he's like, okay, Maddie, what is it that you want?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. You want a new car? You want me to go buy you a house for yourself? So you don't have to be with your sisters? Okay, let me go do that.
A new room addition.
It just happens. It's just the way it is.
Well,
Yeah.
and I, as much as I'm Sam mean, I am nice because, like, when my nieces and nephews come up, they'll say, I think they already know. But they know how to, they really know how to work me.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
I had my not my kids, my sister's kids. It was 3 of them a couple of months ago or a month ago during the summertime. And I was like, well, and I want to do stuff. I'm like, let's go do stuff because this is stuff I don't get to do on my own. Because if I just show up at the museum, they'll be like, what's this girl doing?
So she literally borrows
I borrow my
niece and nephews
kids to
so they can go do
live
fun
the
activities.
things that I want to do that sound fun. So we're trying to do all these things. And like, I took them to like Dave and Buster's. We took them to go eat. And then my niece was like, Aunt Victoria, I want to go to the place where they have the cheese. Right. And I'm like, and Trattoria. And I was like, oh, it's closed. She's like, oh. she's like, you know, like hissing. I was like, but let's go here. To make up for it, let's go to the zoo,
Yes.
right? So like,
$200 later.
No, you took him to the movies.
Oh, I took him to the movies.
And the
You took him to the zoo the
zoo.
next day.
And
Yeah.
so they're like, Victoria, do you think we can get some? And they ask, like, should we get some candy? And I'm like, yeah, we should get some candy. Oh, we should get some popcorn.
So
yeah.
what you're saying is we need to hire them in about 10 years.
Yes. and then Gavin is like, of course, the one that broke his clavicle. He's like, ooh, I want a pretzel. I was like, okay, you could have thinking back, like, all right, I'll get you a pretzel.
They totally
The
got you.
guilt.
Yeah.
Dude, $100 later, the guy's like 100 and something. I was like, all right. And then they were like $100, right? So I was like, whatever. So everywhere we go was the magic number was like $100, $100. And then by the time we got to the zoo, which was the last day, they were like 100 because we bought the little sprays, and they're like $100. And then when we're walking through the zoo, they saw the sign for the dots, and then they said, "Hey, Victoria, do you still got money?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "Okay, do you think we could get some dots?" Because they kept seeing like the money, and I was like, they're like, "Hey, Victoria, do you still got money?"
Say, no, I'm broke.
That's
You
funny.
broke me.
That's hilarious.
No more.
Yeah, kids are very they're very intuitive, and they're very, honestly, they're a little manipulative, right? Because they'll know how to work you. Maddie does the same thing. She almost says it to you as if she already has it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I want, let's go. Oh, like she does all these things and she gets really, really excited about it because she's like, oh, if I'm really excited, they're going to be excited.
She works it. That's the way kids are.
She definitely works it. Yeah.
And it doesn't stop even when they're adults, Stephanie.
What did you say that Mila was being really cute because you were at the dog pound the other day? She smelled all the dogs.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She was like really extra snuggly and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was because she wants a brother or sister or she doesn't want a brother and sister. So she's like, let me act extra cute because I need to show these girls that I don't need, or I don't know.
One.
Either way, I don't know. But guys, we are way over. So thank you so much for joining in Friday. Sorry about the sound. I did not thank you, Eric, for pointing that out. I will be sure to make sure that happens next time. No wonder it wasn't. I was like, why does it seem different here? But we will see y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your friends. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Don't work too hard today. And we will see you next Friday, right?
See you next week.
Bye.
10 o'clock. Not every day.